Hi friends! So this video is going to be a little bit different than my other videos. I've had what is arguably the most ridiculous 7 days in a row, and I just really need to tell you about it. So this week, even though I did work on a project, I won't be doing my usual narration, telling you what I'm doing, like as I'm doing it. Instead, I'm just going to be rambling at your ear holes like I do with my in-person friends. If this isn't your thing, feel free to mute me. I will not be offended. I will still put some information on the screen so that you can follow what I'm doing if that's what you're here for. But luckily, I had already planned to do a pretty simple project, so it should be pretty easy to pick up. Also, before I get into all of this is not a whining, woe is me, please feel sorry for me thing. I am perfectly fine, if not a little frazzled. It's just kind of hilariously absurd how much life can throw at you in a 1-week period. So we're going to start our journey in my preschool classroom on a Wednesday afternoon. The temperature was like 100 degrees outside, so obviously we were stuck inside. And as you can imagine, everyone is in a great mood. Anyway, it's like 15 minutes before it's time for me to go home. 15 minutes. And my assistant says, "This child has been itching their head a lot today." Ooh. Hey, what are these little things in his hair? Crap. Yeah, you guessed it, lice. I'm not freaked out by lice. I mean, there's something that happens from time to time in a setting with lots of kids, but there is a lot to be done. We have to call that child's parents and calm them down because, of course, they're freaking out. We have to notify all of the other parents. We have to send everything home to be washed. And we have to pack up every single soft, fuzzy thing in the entire classroom. And all of the staff is feeling very itchy. In fact, I'm feeling itchy just talking about it. I also had to run out and get special lice spray to spray down the carpets since we couldn't pack those up or wash them. And this lice spray has peppermint oil, cinnamon oil, and clove oil in it. It smells so strongly that it was like someone shoved the entire gum display at the store right up my nose. If you ever want to grow to hate things that actually smell good, spray this stuff. It lasted for days. Luckily, no one else in the classroom ended up getting lice, and everything is super clean now. So that same night, we were predicted to have a pretty big storm. Remember back in April when we had that big tornado? Storms aren't really an uncommon thing where I live, so I wasn't particularly worried about it. I just know better than to be out driving around in it. So I had just gotten home from my emergency lice spray run, and everything kicked off. I was sitting on the couch eating dinner, and it started raining really hard, and almost immediately after it started raining, the sirens went off. My little sister, who lives in another state but is actually very paranoid about storms, texted right away to ask if we were all in the basement. No, we were sitting in the living room watching the storm. Let me stop and let you know that, yes, I know this is very unsafe, but I think that when you have a lot of whatever kind of natural disaster is in your area, you just kind of become a little desensitized to it. Like an earthquake or a wildfire would probably terrify me, but tornadoes not so much. Actually, loud house-shaking thunderstorms put me to sleep. Seriously, if there was a tornado in the middle of the night, I wouldn't wake up until I was flying around inside the funnel. Anyway, there didn't end up being a tornado. There did end up being 90-mile-per-hour straight-line winds, which is not that common for Nebraska. The weather people used all kinds of fancy words like derecho and bow echo, and I don't really know what those mean. But it was very blowy. We were just watching the trees across the street doing the limbo, and my neighbor's Amazon packages disappearing down the road. The power went out pretty early on because that seems to happen anytime anyone sneezes too hard lately. But thank God for cell phones so we could watch the news. Somewhere during all of this, a tree in our backyard snapped and fell on the neighbor's roof, but I never heard it when it happened. After the storm was over and there was still no power, there's really only one thing for Midwesterners to do. We go outside, talk to all the neighbors, and tour the damage. Luckily, as far as I know, nobody got hurt, but there was a lot of damage. Trees were down everywhere. Power poles had snapped in half, and trampolines were just roving the city. Seriously, people should probably tag their trampolines like they do with their pets, because who even knows where those things end up? Speaking of pets, my dogs were pretty happy that they got to go on a walk and pick up 8 million sticks to munch on. The power at our house didn't actually come back on until the middle of the night, which wasn't that bad since some people didn't have power for the next 9 days. But man, once your cell phone is dead and it's pitch black, it is so boring. I visited this axe murder house once where 9 people were killed back in the early 1900s, and I always kind of wonder how anyone could do that when it's so quiet. I swear I could hear every person's every breath for the next 12 miles. Apparently, this was the largest power outage in Omaha history. Well, since power has been a thing, because technically, I guess, before that, everyone was in a power outage. And if you think that I was lucky enough for the power to be out at my school so we could rest, nope, we were right back at it the next morning in the lice spray stinky room with all of our exhausted children telling us wild stories about the storm. Anyway, everyone finally has their power back on now, but we're all still working on cleanup. Our neighbors did get the tree off of their roof, but now it's just sort of levitating in our backyard until we can get a tree company to take the rest down. All of that happened on Wednesday, mind you, but let's jump ahead to Friday. So Friday is our water day at school, which we all really needed to relax and really wear those tiny tyrants out. So we're all outside playing on a splash pad, having popsicles. Woo! So fun! Until a sinkhole decides to open up on the playground. Yes, a sinkhole. I mean, it wasn't enormous. It was maybe 2 foot by 6 foot and 3 or 4 feet deep, but it's still a sinkhole. And it was bad enough that we could lose a kid or two in it, and that's a lot of paperwork. So obviously we had to go inside away from it, and I blocked the whole area off. Weirdly, my school has had a few sinkholes in a couple of other spots before, so I think we might actually be cursed. But this is the first one we've had on the playground. Let's just put a pin in that for the weekend and move on. So Friday night, we're out to dinner with some extended family, and my mom had to run out to the car for something. As she's coming back in the door, I see that the rug inside the door, where people wipe their feet, is flipped up at the corner. And knowing that my mother is a huge klutz just like me, before it even happened, I knew she was going to trip. Like, in slow motion, I watched her catch her foot on the rug, trip forward into an archway across from the front door, bounce off, and fall on the floor. My mom is pretty good at falling since she's had a lot of practice, but she's 70, so her body doesn't really appreciate it that much. She probably won't appreciate me sharing this story, and I know she was really embarrassed, but I swear it wasn't like a goofy looking fall. It wasn't one that you would see on a home video show and laugh at. It was more like, oh, wow, you roll really well. Anyway, obviously I was more worried about if she was hurt, and of course a bunch of people came running over, which is always good when you're already embarrassed. She was pretty much okay, and there was no blood or anything like really gory, but I need to tell you, her elbow had a butt crack. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. There was a dent in the tip of her elbow deep enough that it looked like a butt crack. I have absolutely no idea what she hit, maybe the archway or a shelf that was nearby, but she doesn't remember hitting her elbow at all. Luckily, one of the people that came running over was a nurse who happened to be out to dinner. I kind of pointed out the butt crack to her without trying to scare my mom, and she made one of those faces and said to make sure not to pull on that arm when we were getting her up. But my mom said that it didn't hurt at all and she could bend and straighten her arm, so the nurse lady seemed satisfied that she was okay. So we got her up and we went back to the table. As the night went on though, she did start to get a pretty big bump on her elbow, like golf ball size, and also a nice lump just above her eyebrow, because she also whacked her face right there too. Over the next couple of days though, her whole arm turned black and purple, and she got a really nice black eye. I won't put a picture on here because I'm not sure how YouTube is about that stuff, but I did post a picture on my Instagram of her insane bruise. We went to get her checked out, and yep, she broke the bone right at the tip of her elbow. She eventually had surgery to put in a plate and some screws. Well, eventually it was a couple days later, but now her whole arm is wrapped up, so you can't see the bruise anymore. You can still see the beautiful shiner though. She is doing okay. She's really a trooper, and she's back to only having one butt crack. Plus, silver lining, she had a good excuse to not go pick up tree branches. Alright, so remember that sinkhole that we put a pin in? Yeah, so we're up to Monday, which I actually had off of work. I had coincidentally planned a few days off of work to get ahead on some filming, best laid plans. So I was at home and I get a phone call that we're having some plumbing issues at school. The plumbing issue was that some toilets are not flushing well, which happens fairly frequently in a preschool. So we get our handyman who does small jobs around the school to go out and look at them. He works on them all night and can't get them unclogged, so he eventually calls out an actual plumbing company. The plumbing company says it's a clog in the sewer, so the city needs to fix it with a vacuum truck or a water jet. So then a city inspector comes out to look at it, and he says not only is it our issue because it's a private manhole, but that it's so backed up that if we use any water, sinks, toilets, etc., that will flood the whole school. Really good times. Now, remember, I'm at home during all of this, so I don't know all of this is happening. Between a phone call on Monday saying, hey, the toilets aren't flushing, and Wednesday when the city inspector visits, I've heard nothing. Nothing from the handyman, nothing from the facilities department, not a peep. So I'm in the orthopedist office with my mom when I get a panicked phone call from my assistant saying they can't use the water and they don't know what to do. So this kicks off like 5 hours of basically nonstop phone calls and going out to my school trying to figure out what's going on and what we need to do. If you don't happen to work for a large company, count yourself lucky. But basically, companies like to do everything as complicated as possible. And everything that costs any money has to go through multiple levels to get approved. So while all of this is happening, I'm trying to get information from like 7 different people who also aren't communicating with each other. We did end up closing the school for the day, obviously. I mean, 60 children are going to need to use the toilet at some point, and we really didn't want to take a swim in some sewage. Some more guys from the city show up to take a look in our private manhole, just to make sure that it really wasn't their problem, I guess. Side note, they pointed in the manhole for me to look and said, there's your problem right there. Dude, do I look like a sewer expert? It's dirty sludge. Is that not what it's supposed to look like? We called a second plumbing company out with a vacuum and a water jet. They pulled out a big clog, which the guy seemed to insinuate was somehow my fault. Like I alone shoved so many tampons and wads of toilet paper down there that it clogged the sewer pipes. Whatever. Then he used a water jet to blast the rest clear. He said he was going to blast from one manhole to the next, So I was really hoping a jet of poop sludge would just come shooting out of the manhole at the other end, but alas, no poop fountain. I don't know where all of the stuff he blasted with his water jet went, but it did not fly out of the manhole. So that's all fixed now, and we can resume peeing and pooping without worry. But back to the sinkhole. We're pretty sure that the sinkhole is related to the whole sewer problem, but no one can seem to say for sure. And it is sort of confusing because the sinkhole is actually uphill from the manholes and pipes, so it's probably a good 6 feet higher at least than the level of whatever was happening with the pipes. But again, I'm not a sewer expert. We've had the sinkhole filled back in, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it tries to swallow us all again. So that was my week. I probably should have skipped putting out a video this week, but honestly, crafting is one of the few things that really relaxes me, and posting a video and getting to interact with you all in the comments actually makes me feel better and is something that I really look forward to. So I didn't want to skip a video this week or just pretend that nothing happened. So instead, you just get this Dear Diary type of voiceover. The last 2 days of this week, luckily, were teacher in-service days and nothing exploded or started on fire. So I think that my week of crazy is finally over. If you're still listening at this point, thank you so much. And I really hope that your week is much more boring. I'll be back next week with a more normal video style. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.